Welcome to a box of monsters. In this new video we're going to explore the different elevations and distances to determine if a quadcopter can be used as an effective tool for spotting Sasquatch in the forest. Most of the landscape in Green Swamp consists of pine flatwoods, cypress domes, hardwoods, and swamps. There are two main entrances to the wildlife management area of Green Swamp. One is on Rock Ridge Road, the other is on 471. Green Swamp has a variety of reptiles and animals. You can find alligators, white-tailed deer, bobwhite quail, armadillo, gray squirrels, feral hogs, and a variety of birds. In this video, we're going to explore the possibilities of using a quadcopter for looking for Sasquatch. Is it even possible to locate a human-sized figure in the forest from the average treetops of 80 to 100 feet in Florida forests? In the next three photos, these are panoramic still shots. I took these so you can get a better idea of what Green Swamp looks like at ground level. In the next picture coming up, you're going to see Bonnie standing out there. She's right there in the middle. She's 5'8". The quadcopter I chose is a brand new 2016 model. It's the Phantom DJI Standard. It has a 2.7K video lens, a 12 megapixel still lens. It does not have a zoom, however it has a gyro and a gimbal housing which keeps your video steady even in high winds, and there's no stability problems with this helicopter. It uses a GPS and it holds your position perfectly. I can fly it up to 30-mile-an-hour winds, however, the recommendation is at 15. Today, there is only a 5-mile-per-hour wind, so the video you're going to see is very stable and clear. All your flight data is sent back to your cell phone or your tablet, which is on your transceiver mount. So when you're flying your quadcopter, you can see in real time through the video camera lens what's happening. Though my drone doesn't have them, I would suggest if you're going to be flying in the woods that you have propeller guards on your quadcopter, because if you hit a tree, it's going to go down, and then you got to go looking for it. In the event that you did lose your copter or you wanted to review where you went, your flight data is all sent back to your transceiver and it's recorded in your smartphone or your tablet. Your distance flown, the time you've flown, the elevations, your maximum height, and it's all recorded to view later. Okay, let's go ahead and take off, and you can see what it looks like. These trees are about 80 to 120 feet tall, and I'm going to do several views looking down into the bush. The quadcopter's elevation currently is about 110 feet. This quadcopter in the forest has about a 15 to a 1600 foot range, which varies depending on where you're at and the interference that you have. I was experiencing about 1600 feet before I started to get a weak signal, and then I had to turn around. Coming up, you'll see that I'm adjusting the gimbal on the camera automatically with my transceiver, and I can look at the ground. I'm going to do this several times through the 40-minute video to show you what it looks like from the horizon and then panning down to the ground. If you're looking for something on the ground, like Bigfoot, you're going to be flying with your gimbal down mostly. However, you need to make sure that your elevation is above all of the treetops. You don't even want to hit one treetop when you're flying, because if you do, it's either going to get stuck in the top of the tree or it's going to fall to the ground, and you might even lose it. You'll notice that I flew my quadcopter directly to this one location. I was able to find this on my satellite imagery on my iPhone, which is attached to my transceiver. You can zoom out and you can look for variations in the forest, like this open area. And then you can just aim your quadcopter to it and fly. As we're flying through the woods, I'm looking down at about 80 to 90 feet. You're looking at objects on the ground, and you're looking at trees and logs, and you think you can see everything on the forest floor. However, when we get out to the dirt road, I want you to try to find Bonnie and I standing out there. You're going to see several examples of me flying over the road, and I'm doing that so you can see the size of what a human or a humanoid would be in the woods or even on the dirt road. They are very hard to make out. Over the course of the video, I'm going to be flying at different elevations, at 100 and 300 and 500 feet. And you're going to see different examples of us being down on the road. So you can see what the size would look like of a humanoid being in the woods or walking the road from that height with a drone camera. Below the quadcopter now is a fire break. I was able to even locate that on my satellite imagery that comes across my smartphone, which is constantly being displayed on my telemetry. So if you get lost or disoriented watching your live video feed, you can zoom out and use your satellite imagery, and your GPS always has the copter oriented in the proper direction so that it's pointing back to the home location of where you took off, as the recorder in the copter takes that position and holds it. So if you get lost, you can just turn your copter, take the pointer, and swing it around and go ahead and fly forward back to home. Or if you're lost altogether, you can press the go home button, and you can even put the transceiver down and the copter will fly itself back. The only problem is you have to make sure that the elevation is higher than the treetops, because it can either go up or down and hit a tree on the way back. The quadcopter's elevation is approximately 120 feet. You can just see my white box next to the gravel road. It is very hard to make out. We're also standing down there next to the white road, and you'll see in some of the frames coming up that we're actually in the road. I'm going to go up and down and move up and down the roads, and I'm even going to take the quadcopter up to 500 feet, which is the maximum elevation. The quadcopter's sound starts to dissipate about 250 to 300 feet. I'm going to take the quadcopter up to 500 feet. At 500 feet, you can't hear the quadcopter anymore, nor can you see it in the sky. But if you're flying over the forest and you want to be stealthy, you need to be about 300-foot elevation. When you're using a quadcopter and you have the telemetry being sent back to the transceiver, if you're flying out over the forest and you lose signal and you press the return home key or the copter comes back itself, as soon as you get a signal, I personally cancel the go home function and then I take recontrol over the copter. This way, it lessens the chance of it crashing into a tree, and you're able to land it coming through the forest canopy. I'm making my ascension from 300 to 500 feet in the frames coming up. This particular model has a built-in 500-foot limit. Using a quadcopter out in the forest, and if you're using it for Sasquatch research, you might want to take the quadcopter up to its maximum elevation, and then move over to your target area and then descend down. If you want to move your quadcopter into your new location that you've chosen, to stealthily get to this location, move your quadcopter up to an elevation of 350 to 400 to 500 feet. Once you get up into that range, you can no longer hear the quadcopter from the ground or see it. Once you get over to your location, you can make your descent and move your camera gimbal straight down as you're filming. I'm making a descent toward the ground. Directly under the quadcopter, I'm standing with my transceiver. You'll see a white box next to me. I'm standing on the edge of the road. This will give you a good visual of what a humanoid would look like on the ground as you're descending from the highest altitude. This Phantom quadcopter model has a maximum speed of about 35 to 40 miles per hour if there's no wind. My battery run time is about 23 to 24 minutes per charge. After this flight was over, we took a quick 10-minute break. You can see the telemetry on my next flight. I flew a maximum distance of 12,650 feet. On this final flight, it's about 20 minutes. I'm going to take it out to its maximum range of about 1,600 feet. When you see me loop around and come back, that's when I got a weak signal indicator. I'm also going to take it up to its maximum altitude of 500 feet. During the flight, I'll be looking down on occasion at the forest floor so you can see what it looks like. Thanks for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe and leave your comment. Thanks.